what maps were banned? I'm trying to think. There is so many different... There are no real easy, cheeky maps that I think Sunny Lion can take a...
I don't know. It seems like if they go for a map like Towers of Doom, for example, they're just going to delay the inevitable. If they go to Dragonshire, SPT is still undefeated on that battleground. If they go to BOE, SPT is just almost undefeated on this battleground. They only lost 1 or 2 games in their entire HGC career. It's hard. There are not really that many battlegrounds left, right?
Cursed Hollow might do.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, they don't have a huge... I mean, SPT play it very little, actually, considering most of the other teams.
The thing is, if Warhead Junction was still in the map pool, I would say go to Warhead Junction, right? Try the best of your luck and try to maybe get some shenanigans done here. But they go for Towers of Doom, indeed, and I think that's exactly the thought process of SPT. If you are the better team in terms of team fighting, in terms of rotations and map awareness, then you go to Towers of Doom because you don't have to worry about any core backdoors, you don't have to worry about any cheeky maneuvers. You can just play it down, run it down, and have a good time.
But you certainly can't run it down. This is the one map you most certainly cannot
only run the
run
clock
it down.
Yes,
you can run the clock down. That is true. So, we're starting off. Sunny Lion, they just don't know what they're banning. They're slightly confused. Sylvanas, they considered it. There's a Gazlo in there. There we go. That's more reasonable. Hovering over the Medivh. That is a more reasonable ban, especially on this map where rotations are so important.
All right, Medivh getting banned out. It's probably one of his best battlegrounds, if not the best battlegrounds for Medivhs. You can use the portals from multiple angles. There's so many choke points and so many walls on Towers of Doom, which is another reason why Diablo, for example, is really shining on this battleground. So if you eliminate the Medivh, you don't have to worry about any of those shenanigans coming through. Maiev, also a pretty good hero, though. KSV Black showed us at the Eastern Clash what one Maiev can do.
Very true. And final decision is going to be Medivh. Very fair enough. It is still the most powerful hero in terms of potential game-changing moves. Like, even if it doesn't have the best win rate, the fact is, the matches it wins, it's usually down to the Medivh.
Yeah. Medivh also empowers a couple of heroes like Stitches, like Diablo, for example, so I think it's just a very, very safe ban in general. Now, what is their first pick going to be? Sunny Lion? Do they prioritize the Genji? I actually think that Wildlight looked pretty okay on that Genji last game. He definitely had worse games on other heroes before.
Possibly. I don't know. I don't want to predict at Sunny Lion anymore because they are now up against the wall. They are up against the wall on. Okay, we're sticking normal. Okay, we're not. They have not tilted. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
So you're in to start us.
There would have been 2 scenarios, right? 2 likely scenarios for, or as to how Sunny Lion would react to that shattering game. Number 1, as you said, they would tilt a little bit and they would just play whatever they wanted to because they just want to have a good time, realizing that they would probably lose anyways. Or, which is the scenario that I much prefer, which seems to be their go-to choice as well, they pick this, they play this seriously and take it as a lesson, and maybe use this replay to analyze their mistakes, and they can use that knowledge in their next game against an easier opponent.
Malthael comes in for SPT, who, as you mentioned there, are most certainly not an easier opponent, and they bring out the Genji as well. Lots of, are they just going with the team of all the heroes that used to be OP? Oh boy,
don't bring me back to release Malthael. That was scary. Release Genji too, though.
Pretty fantastic. And yeah, release Genji was terrifying.
Who
is the most OP hero?
Oh, I was going to ask you the exact same question. Now, that's a hard one.
Abathur.
I don't even remember the day when he came out.
Evolution also gave you a heroic.
That was pretty strong, but did it ever seem OP back in the days? Yeah, maybe on Tychus with double Odin. Those were the crazy days, right?
Or double Odin and then Bloodlust Rhaegar. It used to end the game. That was pretty common. So, you know what? That's my prediction.
The most terrifying thing that I recall in Heroes of the Storm history wasn't actually a hero release that was completely busted, but it was Raynor when his Hyperion was bugged, and it would actually deal so much damage with applying the Giant Killer, applying the bonus damage from your focus shot at level 4. Like, those days were so scary. You would go Earthquake, Rainer, Hyperion, and you would basically watch the entire enemy team getting decimated. Yeah,
that was great. As we see, it was fun. It made Rainer very popular for a while. As we see the Greymane and the ETC coming in. So once again, sticking very standard, but ETC instead of maybe like a Diablo, it's still reasonable against Genji, but it's not, I would say, an insta-pick, a go-to.
All right, yep. They could actually go for an Uther. If they wanted to go that route as a support, would do well with both Malthael and Genji, depending on who needs the Divine Shield a little bit more. They could, of course, also go for Stukov. ZZH has been on a tear in that hero, but it wouldn't surprise me if that one gets banned anyways by Sunny Lion.
Tychus removed out, so SPT potentially a very high health tank incoming, depending on what that could be. Arthur's still available. Could pull something out of CE's book.
All right, yep. Now, are we going to see that Stukov ban? Could very well happen. Wouldn't really surprise me. I think Stukov actually excels pretty hard in Towers of Doom. Yeah, there's so many choke points near the shrine, near the altar areas. Generally speaking, there's a lot of zoning to be done with Stukov. Just think of the bottom mercenary camps. Oh, come on. I was going to say Sunny Lion. But yeah, look at the bottom mercenary camps. Oftentimes you win those camps. You can even invade the enemy team's camp by dropping a lurking arm onto the platform, and the enemy team will have to run away.
The other hero who can do that, though, who's very good at invading these camps, is Junkrat, who has been so far kind of ignored in these series.
Yeah, wouldn't hate it. I could even see an Arthas being picked, or a Diablo. Definitely true, depending on what Sunny Lion's, what they fear more. I think Diablo overall is probably a little bit more terrifying at the moment, especially with the removal of all the percentage damage, right? They picked Malthael first, and they banned away the Tychus. So that was almost a clear bait for SPT on the Diablo ban, and they immediately followed up by a Stukov and Ubrak.
Very clever. They have so much area control now, so much immediate lockdown. Cocoon onto Malfurion especially, if he is going for Tranquility, because every Malfurion today has gone for Tranquility, except for one, who did actually go for Twilight Dream. But it's still that setup, and like you said, the incredible Stukov control that you can get on the mercenaries, and of course the zoning potential for the objective as well.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, everything's on the line for the Sunny Lion team. They need to win this if they want to make a first tiny pounce step towards leaving the last place. Sorry, they would of course like to get first, but they're currently sitting at the bottom of the table. And SPT, of course, they don't want to let go of their opponents either. If they get a 2-0, they're going to keep good track of the one who are currently still ahead of themselves. Now, the Maiev goes through and the Falstad as well.
I would not be surprised actually to see, like, this might just be me fantasy booking here, but I would quite like to see a Hinterland, because there is so much lockdown set up for that. However, the problem with that, deflect, Nerubian armor, there are several issues with this.
I would still like to see it, though, to be honest, with a Warden's Cage. I don't think... like, oftentimes with Warden's Cage and Mighty Gust, there's a little bit of misplay potential, right? If you gust them too early, Maiev all of a sudden can't really use the Warden's Cage anymore. And even after that, you don't want to use it at all, right? Because normally when people leave the Warden's Cage, they're quite wounded, and you don't want to save them by gusting them away. So I think this could be a Hinterlands Blast game, quite surely. If they want to blow up someone with Greymane, Maiev, Falstad, I can see that work.
We will have to find out. I mean, there's also the chance of Gust to make the Tether work, so you don't have to use it when there's a Warden's Cage down. There's that potential. We will have to see, or even the risky fly behind Gust into Warden's Cage, if you want to be a little bit cheeky. But in terms of the drafts, SPT is very SPT. This is the kind of draft they used to run. This is the kind of draft they still run. It works. It's based on quite high skill heroes that they just destroy with, in terms of playing very synergistically together and with lots of burst. And of course, the double reset comp against 3 potentially very squishy heroes. Greymane's slightly tankier than Maiev and Falstad, but Falstad with the barrel roll, with the extra shield, and Maiev with the Warden Leap, they have a little bit of self-sustain.
Yeah, of course, you raise a really solid point. We have double reset with comfort picks all across the board for SPT. Melody C most likely on that Genji, and I think it's going to be Molly who plays Li Ming, and I haven't really seen Molly on Li Ming at all. So we're going to pay special attention to this new sight in this game number 2 between SPT and Sunny Lion. In the Blues, we have the Lions with Pao on that Malfurion. Jaina plays ETC again, Feedby on that Greymane, Wildlight on Maiev, and First is on Falstad.
And on the right-hand side, it is SPT with Molly on Li Ming, Melody C on Genji, Misaka on Anubarak, Soap on Malthael, and ZZH back on Stukov. So we do see Molly on that Li Ming here. So that's going to be cool. Like I said, we don't see it too often here, but it's always nice to see new sights. And Anubarak immediately reacting to the composition of the enemies, Regen Master.
Yeah, Regen Master, of course, makes a lot of sense if you're afraid of auto attacks more than you are of ability damage, and I think in that case it makes perfect sense. Season Marksman on the Falstad, and we see Maiev, also going for pretty hard hitting auto attacks. So I think it makes sense. Of course, it takes a little longer to get value from. 30 globes is quite an ambitious goal. Wait a minute, what? That goes through? I didn't know that.
What, the Burrow?
The Burrow charge. I never saw the interaction here. But of course, you become unstoppable, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
just not used to seeing an Ubreg anymore, you know?
Except time stop, which is interesting enough.
That is very true.
As we see First, it's been left very calm up in the top lane with Malthael. He's up there, soaking XP. Genji would love to be able to gank top lane, but it looks like Falstad is playing very sensibly and attempting not to get himself ganked.
So, mercenary camps are being taken and are being postured out here by the Sunny Lion team. They realize, of course, that 2 members right now in the top lane for SPT, namely Genji and Malthael, and those are very dangerous when it comes to securing those camps anyways. So, without the majority of their damage available, Sunny Lion, they go for a very brave move, a very bold move, and I like that very much. Look at Stukov, though, denying all the value.
Oh,
absolute value. So cool.
For those who don't know, the mercenary camps on this
Fantastic.
map, they charge in and explode, basically, outside of their main auto attacks. That is technically classed as an ability. So if you silence them, aka with Stukov's Lurking Arm, they cannot charge and they will not explode. This makes Stukov a fantastic defensive hero on this map.
Exactly. Just imagine it like every Zapper had an ability, and that ability causes you to lunge forward and explode at the near structure, and they can't activate that ability if they're silenced by Stukov. Yet another lockdown. Speaking of ZZH, he's absolutely turning things up here on his favorite support as of late, and I think if I were Sunny Lion, I would have banned the Stukov, because already you can see how this one hero dominates the entire bottom half of the map.
I mean, if you did, though, you're still going to have to deal with Medivh, which is potentially even worse on this map. Both are scary. Yeah. Both are super scary. They did not have an easy choice to make, and they had to make it. They went for what they thought was the lesser of 2 evils, as Misaka puts pressure onto Feedby, trying to zone him out a bit. Cocktail just short of hitting Molly.
It's like saying, would you rather have this delicious but also very scary Hawaii pizza with pineapple, or would you rather have a pineapple toast? You gotta ban one, and you gotta eat the other. That's what Silent felt like in that draft.
That might just be the most peculiar analogy we have come up with so far, as we see Wildlight looking to zone. Jada already in position, just trying to remove, but a lovely silence once again. ZZH on point, and prevents himself from getting tethered, gets power slid, but he's still, well, I was about to say he's safe, but Feedby is going to shut that down. He can't catch him. Waited pustule, but the shots were still taken. So instead, the raid comes in. Can SPT do it before Maiev gets here? Yes, they can. And they are able to take the 2-for-1, even though they lost bot lane. The Melody C, he shall fall.
He shall fall, so that was at least a nice consolation prize here for Sunny Lion, although they just lost 2 altars. Very close here, by the way, for Maiev, played by Wildlight. He almost got through. Jaina now needs to be careful. The power slide was a very curious one. Didn't really land, but almost lost his life there with the towers shooting at him.
The pressure of Sunny Lion continues. They're still kind of even on levels, only a short amount of XP behind, so they're very happy to keep trying to put this pressure on Li Ming, tucking in abilities to keep that pressure on, punish Sunny Lion for being so aggressive. Down goes by every set's acquired, but the Mercenary Camp, they do a fair amount of damage and they block things, so as such, Li Ming struggling to land the abilities, and Feedby able to roll away. Pow blocking the last couple shots from Li Ming. Jaina getting body blocked though, but they've run out of places to chase, and as such, Jaina will escape.
Exactly. They also didn't really have enough damage to finish the kill on Jaina on the ETC. Gets to safety. In the meantime, I think 2 mercenaries, 2 zappers connected in the bottom. Now Molly's trying to go for the big play. Whiffs the combo though. He didn't really have a good angle in the first place because of minions blocking the site and intercepting those abilities. So he tried. If Feetby had stepped a little bit more to the right, then he would have actually fallen victim even before that. So now level 7 is here. We see domination, of course, for Li Ming here. So nice life steal or life gain when there's a takedown, and more damage on that teleport as well.
Yeah, with dominance and calamity, able to get such a fantastic combo. In comes Genji, putting the pressure on, combined with that stuck off silence, leaping to freedom, but surprise Falstad from the sky, able to pick up the kill on Genji after a nice wraparound.
Not sure what is going on here. Sunnyline is playing standard against the standard SPT, and they're starting to gain momentum. They're starting to gain a lot of ground here. 2 takedowns on Genji and the Anubrek. That is free reign. They're going to get 2 altars.
And yeah, that's going to be extra shots, and for starters, put Sunny Lion in the lead for now. As a reaction to this, Malthael moves up to the top lane to soak his team some XP, with ETC burning through yet another mercenary camp. Jaina has been doing a lot of work on this ETC in terms of the zone.
Exactly, and it's so cool to see as well, right? If you remember, back in phase 1, Jaina was the main assassin player, the main ranged assassin player, actually playing a lot of Jaina and a lot of Gul'dan, so that would oftentimes lead to entertaining and amusing casting moments, but now he's actually developed and become the team's main tank here, and up to this point, he's been doing a pretty wonderful job on that ETC, actually zoning out Molly with a beautiful root by Pao, and you know what? The line pain train continues.
Yeah, I mean, since Jada has swapped from the assassin role to this tank role, he really is playing super well, and ETC, despite it seems to be the only tank he plays, is working very effectively for him, so good on him, but hits Cocoon. Can they make something happen? The lurking arm is not off cooldown yet, so they're not going to be able to instantly react. So instead they have to back up, just in case Maiev came in.
So once again, these sort of moves here, right? They really show that I think SPT is not always on the same page. I think there were 2 calls being made here. One was, okay, Cocoon, and then follow up. And the other call was, oh, we don't have Li Ming yet. Don't go for it. Don't go for it. So a Rook ability was whiffed right before the altars are spawning. Now, mind you, Cocoon doesn't really have the longest of cooldowns, right? It's going to be ready in... let's say 40 seconds or so, but it's still a significant factor that could make the difference between winning a teamfight or losing one.
It is a blow-up comp, by the way. X-Strike coming in, lovely gust, and the Warden's Cage might get a massive shove there. So the Warden's Cage gets no value at all. The massive shove, the Last Rites X-Strike, Wave of Force, this is a full blow-up composition.
I think both teams making a couple of mistakes here, but the most crucial of mistakes here was Misaka's on that Anubrek. That was not a territory for him to be there. Even if he had the bird charge, I think the damage was going in too fast, too quickly. There was no way for him to escape. Beautiful stun lockdown and the roots as well by Malfurion, just spot on. I think at this point, SPT has to wake up. Oh no, the Swift Strike, yet another mistake, and Jaina already punishing or trying to punish it, but ZZH is here to save the day with a massive shove.
These massive shoves from ZZH, just absolutely insane so far. He has been the saving force for SPT so far. Here comes the dive. Last rites for the extra damage. I don't think that was a stack, but it is a kill, but the counter kill by Feetby. He immediately gets punished though, because Molly has a resets now.
Silence and stun, and I think that's going to be all she wrote for ETC. Yeah, and that's the boss right there.
Yep, immediately SPT turning that round, picking this up from Misaka. Very well timed. We've seen issues from that from some of the Eastern region teams before, where some of the tanks will not follow up on Cocoon very well, but Misaka got it down. As such, 4 shots taken, core health is even done.
Yeah, the only thing that I think was a little bit of an overkill there was the X-Strike. Don't think that was really necessary, but of course, similar to Cocoon, X-Strike comes with a rather low and short cooldown, so we shall forgive Melody C. But yeah, a couple of unusual mistakes here by Melody C as well, miscalculating, for example, the Swift Strike and dashing into the wall, which caused him to be that easy pickup there almost. So yeah, maybe just having a rough day, maybe just needing a little bit of extra time. But already 24 to 24, experience is almost even there as well. 13 just barely around the corner for Sunny Lion. And Falstad, of course, keep in mind, he has a global. He can fly in the nick of time if his team needs it.
He has to get to near mid, though. His global, despite us calling it a global, does have a range, so therefore he needs to move close to the mid, which he's doing now, so he will be prepared to fly down any second now. In fact, I'm pretty sure that is his plan. Has a lovely silence. Prevents Jaina from a big rotation. Here is Falstad, so it is now 5 versus 5 again, even talents. Who's going to get in range here? Looks like it's going to be Melody C. Lands the Shuriken. The Tether, not doing too much, able to Swift Strike out, but loses one of his engages here. In comes the engage onto Falstad. X-Strike misses though. And first, able to barrel roll away. Massive shove says goodbye to Maiev for a bit. So now is their opportunity to try and do something to ETC. Swift Strike for the burst damage. Power Slide. Mosh Pit is available at this point. Last right, and Jaina is gone.
And that is the brutal end of the last right. Brutally done here. Punishing the mispositioning by ETC super hard. There was no way left for him to escape. Now Melodies is trying to play with a bird a little bit. As it is, SPT takes the lead yet again in core HP. They bring it down to 20. And they also had the boss prior, which means, of course, more damage had been done earlier. ETC was just, you know, a little too reckless. And there's so many things he has to pay attention to, right? The stuns by Nubrak, the Genji, of course, with the focus damage, even Li Ming there with a wave of force. There are so many counter tools to him that he has to pay attention to that I think in that engagement he completely forgot about last rights.
Yeah, this is a pretty... He was trying to posture himself for that mosh pit, but I can see what you mean. Jaina on the ETC, he is a fantastic ETC, but sometimes there's just so much pressure on you that there's little you can do.
Exactly, and ideally, of course, the way that Sunny Lion, they want to initiate a teamfight would be with Maiev, and ETC to follow up on maybe targets in a Warden's Cage. So it's really hard for a solo tank ETC in that roster when there are so many counters like the Massive Shove or the Wave of Force available to really start something himself with that monster, right? What they want to do here is maybe cause a little bit of commotion, bait some of the counters out earlier on the Maiev, and then for ETC to really seal the deal.
And once again, the mercenaries are neutralized after doing a little bit of extra damage to the fort via their normal attacks, as opposed to exploding. Falstad continues to defend top lane, doing a good job up there, but in comes SPT again, looking for their opportunity. Melody C diving very deep.
Coming for Warden's Cage.
Last rights, picking it off ETC once again. They're looking for Wildlight, but with that Warden's Cage, they can't catch it. But Gust is used right as Warden's Cage ends, because this was a disengage. Well timed by first.
Yeah, so unfortunately for Sunny Lion, though, ETC doesn't have stage left, right? So he can't join the team of the Hall of the Storm. So ETC is going to have to be missed for yet a while. Soap can't be stopped here, but are they willing to fight over the bottom? Do they have interrupt tools available? The cocktail lands, that's good. BP actually using a nice escape path here. Completely surprising Stuka. CCH is no more, but also guess who's no more? It is the Greymane. So 1-for-1 trade. Resets, of course, for Li Ming. Make this a very unfavorable trade for first. He's going to have to back away. Okay, he does. Good.
Yeah, two for one in favor of SPT there, as Malthael got their second altar in the top lane. Once again, they continue to extend their core health lead, 12 to 20, but on this map, it is never over until the core hits 0.
Yeah, definitely true. And guess what? 16, you know, is around the corner for Sunny Lion as well, although they need a little bit longer. That is already a juicy minion wave that can be cleared very handsomely by First and Wildlight on those Maiev and Falstad heroes. So 60 is going to be there, and 16 marks a pretty significant power spike for Maiev as well with the Armored Assault, should that be the go-to choice. She deals extra damage on targets that are, as long as she has armor on her. So that could be the case with Tranquility actually providing permanent armor. That's actually really sweet, now that I think of it.
With so far both teams calming down a bit, they're just waiting for the next objective. ETC finishing Prog Rock. That might help if his team doesn't explode.
Yep.
And Li Ming is very good at making things explode.
Jaina knows.
Genji.
They smell something. But
ETC moves forward.
The trap doesn't snap. Here we go. I think SPT realized, you know what? Malthael's still in top lane. Let's not get overly zealous here.
So we see Jaina on that ETC, zoning very appropriate here. Able to guarantee his team yet another Merc camp. Can you say deja vu? Because I think we're about to see something we've seen before. As Malthael, though, also grabs Mercs in the top lane. That's probably going to guarantee top fort.
Yeah, he's also on a Pale Horse, which of course means that he's going to be able to rotate down much quicker than before. First, trying to go for the big play. Misaka gets thrust in the back line.
And they're able to get the quick kill on Falza with the turnaround. Moshpit is good though, as Leaping dives in to try and get the blow up. Instead gets caught in the mosh. Misaka now in trouble as well. He has Burrow though, getting that unstoppable. Gets out. ZZH just sidesteps the route of Malfurion. As LDC gets targeted, takes a little bit of bullet.
He got it.
Valve, so cheeky, able to steal the shots, and that's 6 health left on the core of Sunny Lion.
All right, so although Molly with a little bit of a misplay there, actually jumping into the mosh pit instead of canceling it, his team made up for his mistakes, especially Malville getting so much value there. First of all, capping top lane and then getting the extra bonus shot from the altar as well. So although Sunny Lion did very well in that team fight, the overall objective outcome was favoring SPT once again. Oh, the SPT, you're just showing up now.
The X-Strike was wonderful that time. Got the huge blow-up. Wildlight desperately trying to do something. Falstad has arrived back, though, making this a 4v4, but the Cocoon onto Malfurion. Focus onto the Maiev. She's tick it down, and so picks up the kill. Now it is just Pow, and poor Pow. He is alone. Genji picks up 1 kill. Could even use the reset from that to help kill Malfurion. He does so, and Molly is able to kill Falstad. Full team wipe by SPT.
All right, and with 5 members dead, what are they going to do? Are they trying to go for all the battle towers, trying to get those bombardments in, or are they going for the boss? Opening themselves more winning condition, right? If you get the 4 shots in, they're going to be brought down to 2, and that means a mercenary camp could end the game, a single altar could end the game, and I think that is a smart call. Just, you know, opening themselves as many winning conditions as they can. And right now, it is basically Sunny Lion's Hail Mary moment. They need to make something happen. And guess what? The fastest way to approach the very right-hand altar is, of course, through the tunnel. And as such, I think SPT will likely have at least 1 person there to posture up, dismount them, and then just channel through. The minions helping as well.
Genji. And yeah, this is the correct move by Sunny Lion. Just dive straight onto the enemy's point, because that's the only way you can do it. But not if you just lose a member like that. The perfect setup. SPT spring the trap. The channel begins. It's up to anyone now. Anyone who can get in. They feed in 1 by 1. Wildlight interrupts, but another one bites the dust. Pow is focused down. He is removed. And first on the Falstad, he is the last one alive, and now he is not. Down he goes, that's GG, and in convincing fashion, SPT take game number 2.
Very well played there. That was just the perfect trap. I mean, ETC knew they were hiding in those bushes, right? He knew that the moment I go in there, I'm probably going to die, but what other chance did he have left when 1 altar meant the end? As such, we can't really blame him. It was still a valiant effort by the Sunny Lion team, and I think they surprised quite a lot of us here when they were able to fight toe-to-toe with one of the strongest teams, if not the strongest team in the league. So kudos to Sunny Lion. I think game number 2 would have been much more one-sided, maybe even a 36-0, 40-0, something along those lines. And even in game 1, they had their moments. So it's not like Sunny Lion is a team without hope, right? I think against other teams like KT, RPG even, they definitely have what it takes to take a map or even a game.
Yeah, like we said, they looked pretty strong, actually, during the first part of that game, able to take some back-and-forth bits here. Sunny Lion, continuously, we keep saying this about most of their games, actually, throughout when we watch them. There are moments of brilliance. But until you can put those moments together into a cohesive story, they are just moments.
Yeah, I would say, you know, luck is when brilliance becomes permanent, and that's definitely something that the Sunny Lion team needs to work on. So they need to be more consistent, having those shining moments back to back to back, not just occasionally, you know, spiky. And if they manage to do that, they can take down teams like KT, they can take down teams like RPG, and maybe avoid the relegation, the Crucible. But, you know, air is getting much thinner for them as time goes by. Now, I want to talk more about SPT, Tetcher. Do you think the performance we saw by them today is enough to make them a worthy rival again for the 1 and CE, or do you think they still have so many points to improve on?
I don't think they have so many points to improve on. Implies that there are many things. There were many things wrong with SPT. It's a couple minor things wrong with SPT that the other teams don't have the issue with. I think they can still probably go 1-1 with either of them, but right now I don't think it's going to be convincing 2-0s like we used to see. Yeah.
I think that is a very good assessment, right? Back in the days in phase 1 of 2018, and even before that, and especially before that in 2017, there was no team in China that could actually rival SPT. True, they did drop a map every here and there, but overall their reign, their dominance was nothing to be shaken at. Like, none of the teams could actually hope to challenge them. Now, them sitting at 3rd place and not even, actually tying things out with the 1, or are they still 1 point behind?
They are tied in first
tied
place
second.
in second place with the 1.
Okay. It's still a result for them that they can't feel overly satisfied. They are the 3-time China champions after all, so there's still a little bit of room to grow. And as time goes by, we're going to determine whether SPT find back to former glory or whether they're going to remain a shadow of their former selves.
Yeah, but for now, they still have 6 more play days to go through here. They have plenty of time. Wait, more than that. Maths, come on.
It's 5.
5, yes. 5 more play days to go through. So plenty of time to try and regain some of the points to move themselves up the table. Whereas Sunny Lion, they're up against it now. They can't afford to get 2-0'd again, really. If they want any hope of not going to the Chinese Crucible, they have to start getting at least 1-1s.
Yeah. And the thing is, of course, you know, there's still 5 play days, and there's also 2 series that SPT is going to look forward to the most, right? The one against the 1 and the one against CE. If they win both of those, I think they're almost guaranteed first place anyways. So, yeah, going to be a very interesting outcome here for the second phase of HGC China. The closest one, I dare say, that we ever had together, Tetcher, right?
I would agree. Outside of potentially our very first one, where we had
when
like a
Easter was still
3-4-way tie for the top.
Oh, yeah.
Which was very fun indeed. Like, it was 3-way tie for the top, and then one team 1 point behind. So that was quite fun. But yeah, this is very close. Only 2 points separate CE from the 1 and SPT, who are both on 11 points, with CE on 13. Yep. Meaning it's going to be very intense heading into tomorrow's playdays. Because once again, we will be back tomorrow after we have done the post-game analysis here. We will be back tomorrow with... I'm going to look at the games because I haven't looked at the schedule ahead. Let's find out together.
Sure, let's just, let's just cheat on our viewers and spoiler them. I like it.
Here we go. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Game